when he came back. And his hair had turned completely white, and he was a totally different person than the boy who left.
I do not know you, but I am your brother.
You do not know me, but I am your protector.
I will run into a burning building to save your life.
Though I do not know your name, I will take a bullet for you.
Though we've never met,
I believe in duty and sacrifice
of self.
Your family is my family.
Is my family. Your life is my duty.
Oh, man.
What's going on, guys? Time for another episode of Behind the Uniforms. Today we're drinking a bourbon called Redemption. I figured it was fitting. Tell them who you are.
I'm Pastor Ray Seemans, Troubadour Ministry in Wilmington, Delaware.
Pastor Redemption. You see what I did there? So for those of you who have never seen this series before, the way that it works is this. We usually invite first responders, veterans, active, retired, doesn't matter, onto the show. They tell us about a good day. They tell us about a bad day. They bring some whiskey. We have a separate sort of spin-off, which is the Friends and Family Edition. So I wanted to invite this gentleman on the show because of the work that he is doing in our community, and I figured he's going to be on the Whiskey Patriots too. So if you didn't catch that episode, make sure to check it out. But why don't you, let's start with the why. Why on the faith side of things, and what are you doing for the men and women who have served and protected our communities and our country?
Well, I come from a family of veterans. My dad was in the Navy. I served in the Coast Guard briefly. But what really inspired me was my son joined the Marines and was on the initial march into Baghdad.
Wow.
Sniper urban warfare. And he was with Fox Company, and the news traveled with him. So he was on the news every night. Mom and I are watching this.
That's tough, huh?
Yeah. So we watched all of that, and then we even heard his name called out several times. We didn't actually see him, but we heard his name called out. And he came home. We met him in California at Pendleton when he came back. And his hair had turned completely white, and he was a totally different person than the boy who left. And we watched him after he got out and tried to get back into the secular life. We watched him struggle with a lot of things, and addictions and depression and anger, and there's so many different things that just kept him from being the whole person.
Yep.
And I thought, if he's struggling like that with the family support that he has, so we did everything we could, everything we knew to do. And he did not go for counseling, because he didn't need it. So I watched all of this over a year or so, and it broke my heart to watch that happen to this young man. And I thought, how many of these guys are out there that don't have the support? I worked for a homeless mission in Wilmington for a couple of years, and I found out a lot about the veterans being homeless. And I thought, I understand homelessness to an extent, but why are our veterans homeless? Why aren't they being supported? Why don't they have something in place for these guys when they get out? And I'm finding out that they're not getting benefits, they're not getting the medical care, they're not getting this, they're not getting that. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that, and I don't ever want to go to a place where I'm saying the government's got it all wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying there needs to be something more for these men. The cookie cutter programs that are set up for them,
Not working.
they're not working. What's happening is they're coming into the system. They're being treated with these programs and this counseling. Then they're set out, and they're set out into a place to live. This is what's happening in our area. This is what I see happening. Because they want to end veteran homelessness, they set them in these apartments. I've been watching it. We served 27 veterans last year that were moved into apartments. These apartments have nothing in them. Not a chair, not a plate, not a fork, not a knife. and they're left alone. Do that to me. I'm going to get depressed. I'm
Go to
going
a dark place.
I'm going to struggle.
Yep.
So we're seeing that, and we've been working with the VA. We've been working with caseworkers. We've been working with the homeless shelters. And we're seeing this more and more of these guys getting moved into these places like that. So I said, you know, what really needs to happen is these men need to be met, and this is what makes us different, on an emotional and a spiritual level. Because that's what's broken
Totally.
inside. Being in the military, going through boot camp, first thing they do is they break you down so that you lose your individuality because they want to make you part of the team. I get that. Mm-hmm. Okay, but when you come away from that team, what's next? How do I deal? What do I do? What am I here for? If they don't know, which most of them really don't, and they get into this depression and they get into this anger and they get into drugs, alcohol, different addictions, and they find themselves homeless. It's my belief that it's because they don't have a purpose to get up in the morning. They feel like they're done. They're useless. They're hopeless, helpless, homeless. Come on, let's step up and walk with these guys, one at a time. Let's find out what they're all about. Come with me for a day or two. Let me take you to your appointments. Let me take you to some meetings. Let me take you here or there. What do you need to do? Because when you spend that time with them, they open up and you start to find out who they are, what they're about, what flips their switch. That's their purpose. What are they good at? What are they gifted at?
Well, on the biblical side of things, it's the whole give a man a fish or teach a man to fish. You're taking this so far beyond teach a man to fish. You're hit. Well, you know, my buddies who are SEALs would tell you that you're their swim buddy right now.
Yeah, yeah. But don't they deserve that?
Absolutely.
Isn't that what they really, really need?
Absolutely.
So, you know, I'm calling out to the church. I'm calling out to the veterans who've got their stuff together. I'm calling out to veteran-owned businesses. I'm calling out to people in general to help us do this because it's worthwhile. I can tell you stories, the success stories that we've had just over the last year. 26 veterans we supplied furniture, food, clothing, whatever they need, basic human needs, the things that you and I don't even think about every day because it's there. And when you do that, that opens the door to speak into their lives, to listen to what they have to say. You know, nobody's listening to them. We're listening to them. And we're moving these guys into areas of employment. And when I say employment, I really don't want to say get them a job. That's not the answer.
Right.
The answer is to get them into something that they care about.
Yep. Help them
Something
find
that
their
they're-
passion.
What they're good at. Find your passion. That's your purpose. That's what God created you to be. That's what we all need. Everybody needs that. But it's my calling to go to the homeless veterans. Now, I like to say we've got a group of about a dozen of these guys that still travel with me, go to church, we go to meetings, we go to concerts, and I'm a musician as well. And one of our veterans is playing drums for me now.
Nice.
Okay, and one of our veterans wants to open up a wood shop, a carpentry shop. He's a cabinet maker. He loves it. He works for his son, but he wants to open his own shop and do custom pieces for designers and stuff.
It's awesome.
We're going to help him do that.
Let me ask you this. You have a big audience right now. How can people help?
Well, you know, locally, if you're in Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, we need furniture, household goods, and things like that. Okay, we need volunteers who will help us to get from point A to point B with the furniture.
Yep.
We need storage space. Okay, we have some storage space, but I need something I can get in and out of without hurting myself.
Yeah.
We've been donated some storage space, but we got to go through the door, make a turn, and go through this door, and then we're in it. Okay, so I'm looking for a bay door. Take this carpenter shop and give him a shop, a 12 by 24 to do his woodwork. Then a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 12 room to do refinishing, dust free. And in the back, storage for the ministry. We're going to put veterans to work in there.
Love it.
He wants to teach other veterans how to do what he does. It's synergistic. It's a beautiful thing. We also need money. It takes money to run these guys around. Sometimes we wind up paying their phone bill or their electric bill.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to go out and buy them food.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we got to buy them underwear, whatever. You know, whatever they need, we want to be able to get it for them. But we don't want to put them in a position where they're like this. We want to put them in a position where they're in there with us.
What's the website?
www. I don't think you have to do that anymore, do you?
I don't think you do. No.
Troubadour ministry.org.
You know what you do have to do?
What's that?
You got to spell that.
I knew that because everybody spells it wrong. It's TROUBADOUR.
We'll put that up on the bottom of the screen.
TroubadourMinistry.org, and it's ministry.org, or NoWallsChurch.org.
Oh, you should have started with that. I mean, just set that as a redirect.
I always bring spinach first, you know.
Oh my God, we got to talk marketing after this.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So you know what's pretty cool? The first time we met, I have a buddy of mine sitting right over there, John Myers, and John, chappy fellow, British guy.
Yes, quite so.
Said, I got this guy I want you to meet. So we met up at a place called the Cambridge House. We had a beer, and we're shooting the shit, and I'm having drinks and swearing like a sailor, and
yes, you were.
And I said, so what do you do? I said, I'm a pastor. I said, shit.
You did.
But here's the reason that I share that story is because a lot of the time people think about faith as being religion, right? And there's a very, very, very big difference between highly structured, organized, regulated religion with the church and the role of faith in God in our lives.
Amen.
And that's something that not enough people talk about. But think about that. Like, you at no point were you preaching to me. You, in your mission work, you're not out there preaching, you're helping. And you are showing the hand of God in the actions. And I just found that to be so incredibly inspirational. So I wanna wrap up by giving you a couple of the questions that are on our Snowflake Test.
Okay.
All right, so for those of you who don't know the Snowflake Test, it's 30 questions that we make prospective employees answer before they work for us.
Pressure's on.
It's triggered a lot of people. People get very upset over this test. So I want to ask you two questions. Number one was, what does faith mean to you?
Faith, to me, is trusting in something much bigger than myself and to serve others.
That's great.
Period.
Okay, well, you passed that. You know, one of the answers that we look for, just sharing all cards on the table, not everybody are men or women of faith like us, right? But people could have faith in their country, in their coworkers, in a team. Faith is something that is just much, much bigger than the individual.
Well, I want to say that my faith is reliant on my personal relationship with Jesus Christ as my Savior.
Perfect.
Okay?
Mine
I
as
want
well.
to say that because I don't want anybody to say I didn't bring Jesus into it, because that is the answer.
I appreciate that, and I agree. Second question, what does America mean to you?
America means freedom. It means justice. It means that we have a society in which we respect human life.
That's a good answer.
You know, and there's so much more to it, but there's so much up against the American way of life right now that I spend a lot of time on my knees praying for this country.
I'm with you.
And I'm so grateful for the administration that we have right now and all that they're doing, because they're making a difference in what I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I want to share something with you. So, my buddy, I don't know if you guys caught the video that we did. Eli, who is the CEO of a company called Bottle Breacher, Navy SEAL sniper. Eli and his wife started this company, Bottle Breacher, and Eli and I were in Texas a few weeks ago, and we did a video talking about the role of faith in entrepreneurship. And so as you were talking about that, I just wanted to, you don't get to keep this, I'm sorry, this is not a gift.
look at
But he
that.
takes 50 cal bullets and they turn them into bottle openers. Check out the President Trump
That's awesome.
edition that he did.
That's
but I think it's so
awesome.
important to be willing to have those conversations about the role of God and faith in your life and in your business and in the mission work that you do and in the ability to help and give back to others. It's a conversation that not enough people are having. So if you guys haven't seen that, I encourage you to go back and check that out. But once again, what's the website, the easy one?
NoWallsChurch.org.
Awesome.
Just like it sounds.
Awesome. Brother, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for coming
for
on
the
the show.
encouragement.
And cheers to you and the work, and God bless America.